Hello, and welcome to Leon's Lockpad. I hope you're all doing well. Another blustery, wet Wednesday today in Manchester. So today, what it is, I got a message from a subscriber asking if I would gut and reassemble an American 1100. I've done lots of these, but I've not done really many reassembles of these. But I thought at the same time we would have a look at being wary of clones. Now, this case is not a clone, it is a genuine American lock, but the core is a clone. I originally had the clone was in the C-Pox, and it is now a proper American core. The reason is, until I get an actual green looking 1100 at this type of colour, that's why that's up there with me, the others. But yeah, so what we'll do is we'll get into this, we'll strip it, we'll reassemble it, and then we'll show you. I'm sure that I'm positive this is a clone, but hopefully we'll show you what to look out for. So, my big bunch of American keys for all my American padlocks. Let's get it open. Need a screwdriver again. It's the one thing I keep forgetting. Every time I do a video, I always forget the screwdriver. So when you unlock it, you will get a screw down there which holds the bottom plate on, which holds your core in. Once you've unscrewed that, your bottom plate will undo and your core will just slide out. There's the actuator. It's easy as that, it will just fall out. So when you undo it, make sure you put your finger on the bottom so everything just doesn't fall out, just in case you're unsure how it comes out. So if you can get it to slowly slide out, you'll see it fits directly back in there really easy. You won't have any problems with that. But yeah, let's get into it. So I'm going to take this tiny little circlip. Generally with these, are really, the American locks, these are really easy to pop off. Most of the time. This one's being a bit squirrely, trying to escape. Yep. So we don't have a smaller one on here. No. What are we doing? Oh, you awkward little bugger. Give me a minute. Let's pick out the other clip tool. Oh, now I'm dropping things. Also be careful, as you can see in the top, we have don't turn your core all the way around and you'll fire all your pins out of there. Well, sorry, you can't see. This is the first time ever I'm having a problem. One of these circlips, it's being a right little slippy thing. Gotcha. Oh, there we go. Tiny little thing. Zoom in a little bit. Right, so core is ready to come out. Now you don't need you won't need a shim for the American lock. And generally you don't. As you can see, slides right through, no problem. These are our pins, and as you can see, only 1, 2, 4, there's 9, 6, sorry, there's only 5 pins, right? 1, 2, and 4 need to be picked. 3 and 5 do absolutely nothing. You've got a serrated keeping, because you do get a lot of serrated spools and drivers in these, including including keepings. Let me just grab one. You can see that, but there is serrations on the end of that, so that'll give you some feedback. Right, let's put our core on there and let's see what's inside. Remember, when you're gutting this, the core needs to go in here, where that just sticks out a tiny bit. Now, if you are unsure, a lot of people do this anyway, just get a marker before you take the follower out and put a quick X on the front, and just let you know which is the front of the core, and then it don't go all wrong on you. Right, first pin is a serrated driver. We've got another one, lots of serrations. It's not a spool or anything. We got another one that's all serrated. Are we going to get a spool in here? I'm going to get spools. Another serrated driver. I mean, normally with these you'll get serrated spools as well. Well, I must have picked this lock at some point, but every single one of them is a serrated driver. There's not one spool. Just dump the springs out. There's the tiny, I'll bring this up, tiny little springs. There you go. And that's what we've got inside the lock. And what we'll do is we'll put this together again. So remember, this bit here, and a little bit stuck out when your core matches. So don't do it that way around. And like I say, majority of them are only 5 pin. You do get the odd 6 pin. So if you don't find anything in there, don't worry, there's nothing wrong with the lock. It's just a 5 pin. Right, so first of all, grab your key pins and pop them all in. Pointy bit facing down. I think these two are in the wrong place, maybe when it dropped out, but we're going to find out when we use the key. Yeah. These two are the wrong way around. Well, yeah, you will find a lot more, well, all American locks I've ever picked, I've always had some type of serrated key pins. Let's put that in. Yep, see, now we're nice and smooth, we're all hooked up there, so we're ready to go back in. Don't need the key for this just yet. If you know you've got the pins in the right way and it fits in there with the key properly. Let me just zoom out a little bit and bring that down. There we go. So let's start with the Bible. So get your follower, make sure it's facing the front. Now what I generally do with I do the first 3 and do the last 2 at the back. So what we'll do is we'll drop our springs in. See there? So number 1. Number 3 is in there. Alright. Then number 2. Now you can put all your springs in first, then your drivers, but seems I'm already set up ready. So there you go. So we've got our 3 springs in. So we might as well put our 3 drivers in. So first one goes into number 3, and we just push a little bit of pressure on it to catch it, and then push it down, and then slide to the next one. Same with number 2. Drop it on top of the spring, gently push it down, and slide through to the next one. So there you go. We're on number 1. And get number 1. Drop it down, push it, slide it through. There we go. So now we can turn the lock around, and we can do the last 2. Now make sure you don't push your follower too far, or else you'll end up springing out your drivers again. So we go into number 4, which would be from reverse, and put our driver in. Now remember, there's a spare at the back, so you don't need to fill that. Now some keys are long enough to interact with that extra hole, so you could put another pin in there. Some don't, but some do. It's just a case of having a go and seeing if it happens. And get your last driver, put it in. It would be the 5th hole. Push it down, slide it back over like that. Now get your core. Now remember these cores as well, it's got a half, that's just part of your actuator. You'll need some type of follower that is going to match. The same like this. So you can see that. I mean, I did learn to do it other ways as well. You don't always have to do that. You can have a practice. Push it straight through, we're in. Now if I turn this, it will lock. And just to make doubly sure, and remember, turns, yep. Put your finger on the front of the core if you've not put the C-clip on the back, so when you can pull the key out, or you don't pull the whole thing out and pins go bouncing absolutely everywhere. Get your circlip. Normally you don't need to use just use your finger. There we go, clip straight in. And then we get you get your core again. Now you just got to find which way it lays. So we get our cover, and what I have to make sure is, see, is not completely in the way. Put your bottom part in, your screw, we are all in, and we should fasten and close, and there we go. Let's get this key to make sure it does work perfectly fine again. So drop the key in, turn the lock, there we go. Absolute functioning, perfectly working lock. Yeah, pretty simple to go to. They're a little bit fiddly just because they're small, but don't let that worry you too much. Right, let's have a look at this one. So let's open it. Same as before, because this is not a clone body. This is just the core that's going to be a clone in this. Right, let's drop out this. One second. I'm a spanner. I know what I've just done wrong. Well, there's no way that is. It's key retaining. Oh, there we go. What a bugger to get out that was. We can still leave this shut, and still the core comes out exactly the same. But when you look at this one, this is the difference. You can tell there's something not right straight away in the quality of it, and if you can see, there's no circlip on the back. So the only thing that's holding this in is a set of pins. But it's what's inside. I had to get a shim for this because I'm absolutely sure this one is the dreaded of all cores that nobody likes. And that is you can make shims, by the way, Coke cans and stuff like that. They're quite easy to make. You just really need something very thin. Oh yeah, this anyway is, I'm not sure, but I think this is a the dreaded fishbone core, and that's what I'm trying to say about these ones. You've got to be really careful about. Let me pause. Let me just see if we can get this. I accidentally stopped my video. Yeah, I'm sorry to say I cannot gut this one. I've got one somewhere. I will find it for next time. There is, which is unusual, there is a retaining pin that's holding this core. So if I turn this core, normally you could push on it and the core would just fall out. But there's a retaining pin holding this core in. So I can't really, my hands are really sore for picking, but I'm gonna have to maybe try and pick that this way, because that's how I know I can open this up without the key and get that retaining pin out. But unfortunately I cannot do it the normal way this time. I really do apologise about that. I'd like to have shown you what a fishbone core, but I have got other fishbone cores. I will find them and we will gut it, and you'll see they are really, really, really nasty pieces of work. It's not something you want to gut unless you really know what you're doing, because these things, think of it as a rib cage on a fish or anything like that, or is as soon as you go to turn it, and when you go to turn it and you go to slide the core out, because there's grooves in it like ribs, your pins will all fall inside it, completely trap it, screw it up, and it won't work. That is what a fishbone core is, and they are nasty. But yeah, I'm gonna find I'm gonna have a dig around in a minute and find the because I did keep a couple of them. I've never given them away to in other locks because I don't want people to think they've screwed a lock up. I think they're terrible cores, but I have kept a couple for demonstration purposes, so I will find them and we'll get another video up. But sorry for about that end bit, but I hope reassembling and pulling apart that 1100 helped in any way. But thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and bye. Don't forget to like.